Oh, Clowney, what did you do? Jadeveon Clowney has not been signed yet, which is somewhat of a shocker to all of us. Simply because, one, he's a great defender. Two, I think he's like number one right now in free agency. And three, he's not getting what he wants. So, where will Clowney really go? So, I look at the teams that have been recently been interested in him. And I have them now. Now, it's not like in order. It's not in order. And I'm not saying that's his top choice and all that. I'm just showing you the teams that have been interested for him and what are my thoughts in the end. So let's look at the teams. We'll start with Philadelphia. Now, the Eagles, they are good. They're still a good team. And no matter how many times you want to doubt them with the injuries they have to go through and all that, the Eagles still find ways to win games. It started like that. Well, we already know in the playoffs with Nick Foles when they went to the Super Bowl. Then the next season when Wentz went down, people gave up on them. Nick Foles saved them. When Eagles had injuries basically everywhere on defense and offense, and Carson Wentz was still the quarterback, they found games that they could win, and they won in the division, but sadly came up short. Well, the Eagles have proven that no matter how many times you're going to doubt us, we're going to find ways to shock you, and we're going to find ways to make either the game close to win or we win and just shock you. I mean, it's who Philly is right now, and they've been like that for the last 3 years. And let's go to the next team. We already know the Seattle Seahawks story. Clowney has been still wanting to go back to Seattle. He loves to coach his staff and the players and all that. Here's the thing, though. The question I still want to know is, does Seattle need him more than he needs Seattle? Because if that was the case, he would have signed with Seattle just like that. And honestly, Seattle this offseason, I thought it's an alright offseason. I mean, they had to me a disappointing draft. But they've shocked us for years on drafts that later on become great. But when we look at the Seattle Seahawks right now with Clowney, they went 11-5 and were just an inch away, like a foot or an inch away from winning the NFC West. This team could have been a 12-4 team, but it became an 11-5 team. Now, Clowney does have some impact on their defense to help them give them a boost. And no, that's another problem. The Seattle defense, it still needs to be up there. And Seattle has not done well to sack the quarterbacks over the last several seasons. Now, I know. It's because of the Legion Boom no longer being around and all that great defensive players that the Seahawks had in their two Super Bowl runs. Like, they haven't been in the top 3 in sacks or rush since their two Super Bowl runs. Ever since then, they have not been, I don't think, even in the top 10. So that's been a problem for a while. Clowney does already know the players and the coaches so well. And really, we'll see what happens. The Tennessee Titans. Now, the Titans were, to me, the shocking playoff team. Because no one, like me, I did not expect them to go to Foxborough and beat the Patriots. I did not expect them to go to Baltimore and beat the Ravens. They couldn't handle Kansas City. We all know that. And we already know the story, what happened to Kansas City. Tennessee, though, I just think, sure, Clowney could go there. It's in the AFC. It's a big boost for Tennessee because Tennessee, over the last several years, has not gone over 9 wins. They just been the 9-7. What is it now? 5 or 4 years of being 9-7, and I just don't know when that's going to stop. I mean, it's like a cycle of that. Now, they do have Henry. And, Henry was lean rusher, and he's got lots of expectations later on, and until end the season, if there's a season to happen. So Tennessee, and plus, he goes there, he plays his old former team, and I think he would love to play against his old former team. The Jets. Jets are young. There's no longer Tom Brady in the AFC East. Jets have a lot of money that you could go for, but question mark. Giants, they're young. They need everything they can get to get some help. So, yeah. And then the Browns. Okay, I gotta stop doing that. Cleveland, they're a risk. Cleveland's got a lot of talent, and I will be honest with you, I still think they have one of the best talents in the NFL. It's just that they did not have the right coach. And to me, that was the problem with the Browns. You didn't have the right coach to lead the team. We'll see what this coach does, their new head coach. I can't remember his name, but still. The coach was the problem why the Browns did not have success. It's true. I mean, look, many people like me thought the Browns were going to be legit. Like, many of us had them in the playoffs. I had them in the playoffs, and I even made a joke saying they're going to go to the Super Bowl. But I just think when you have this much talent, and when you're trying to think, how in the world does this team with so much talent went 6-10? Where people were like, what was it? When they acquired OBJ, they became the third favorites to win the Super Bowl before the season started. And then to 6-10. I mean, Cleveland still has that talent, and their defense does need help, and I think Clowney could help the Browns. Now, what do I think? How, if I had to give this an order, how would it go? Well, out of these teams, Jets, because, well, I mean, sure, you got the AFC East. That's no longer going to be the Patriots, but still, the Jets have not been in the playoffs since Mark Butt Fumble Sanchez. And that was their last playoff run. Like, what was it? Was 2010 through 11 season? And the Jets have not done well since. I mean, one winning record after that. Just one. That was 10-6. Could have been a playoff team, but they missed it. All they had to do was go to Buffalo and beat them, and we already know what happened. And ever since those high expectations, the Jets kerplunk. The Jets are just the Jets. There's nothing you can do. Then we have the Giants. They're the same category right there. The Giants, the NFC East is going to be tough this season. We know that. The Giants aren't a Super Bowl contender. They're not a playoff contender. How long is it going to take for them to actually get back up there? Like, if they had Odell Beckham Jr., you know, I would not have a biggie about that, and I would have some confidence. But they don't even have I don't think they even have like a good wide receiver to compare to Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, Barkley is good and all, but he can't be carrying the team that long, and I would not be surprised if he later on leaves them. Daniel Jones, I mean, I don't know. I would have never picked him still, but still. The Giants are too far away. And remember when they went 11-5, they go to in wild card. We already know what happened when they lost to the Packers. Odell Beckham Jr., that wide receiver core just didn't show up because we're on the boat cruise. But still, though, the next season, high expectations. Many people were thinking maybe a 13-3 and win the division. But no, they come just like the Jets, they kerplunk. They went down. And really, the Jets and the Giants are too risky to go, especially when they're terrible right now. Then we look at the Browns. They may have the most talent, but look, this is Cleveland. They haven't had great success since returning. One playoff appearance, but what was the record? 8-8. They lost. One winning season that was like 10-6 or 11-5. They missed the playoffs. Cleveland is such a big risk because you may have all this talent, but it's also been the coaches. If this coach does not work out, you really got nothing to do. I mean, if it was like a coach like Bill Belichick, John Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, those coaches, people would not have a problem with it at all. Even Mike Tomlin. I mean, they would not mind. People would not mind if Clowney went to Cleveland with those coaches, but this is Cleveland. And if Cleveland had those type of coaches right now, who knows where they'd be? Better than this. But Cleveland's Cleveland. And no matter how much talented you can get, because that's also the other thing. What they taught all of us, talent will never be the big key to win games or make the playoffs. It's also the person who is using that talent as the coach. And if you don't use it right, you ain't gonna make it. And that's exactly what happened to Cleveland last season. Exactly like that. Tennessee. I mean, they're a good team and all, but here's the thing. They rely on Henry. Now, I'm not saying it's bad to rely on a running back, but just don't do it too much. Because, honestly, the Ryan Tannehill signing, I still question. Like, that should be what Derrick Henry should have gotten. But if Henry... Because let's think about this. Let's say Henry gets hurt. He's out for a season. Week 1 gets hurt. Out for the season. What's Tennessee without Derrick Henry? Because remember, that man was the reason why they made it to the AFC Championship game, not Ryan Tannehill. He was the league leading rusher. And the man knew what to do to run the ball. And, you know, he is reliable to Tennessee. It kind of reminds me of the Vikings with Adrian Peterson. They kept relying too much on Adrian Peterson. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, it's not bad to rely on a running back. Just don't rely on him too much. And if that does happen, I can't see Tennessee making the playoffs. Now we got the Philly and Seattle. Honestly, those two teams are the safest bets. Seattle has a quarterback. They have a run game. They have the wide receivers, even though their defense... They made some moves the offseason in the draft. Not that big, but still. Their defense needs Clowney. And then we look at the Eagles. No matter how many injuries they get, they find ways to win games and give it their all. Clowney did say he loves Seattle. He loves the players and the coaching staff. When he was brought up Philadelphia, he said he doesn't like the fan base over there. Neither do I, since that fan base is literally just annoying. Like, they probably are the worst fan. They're the worst fan base. Like, they'll cheer when your favorite player gets injured and all that stuff. I mean, they threw batteries at Michael Irvin and all that. Like, come on. Like, but team-wise, I would say it comes down to Philly or Seattle in the end. And like I said before, if it really was Seattle would have just get them right now because, you know, we look at who they released. Ed Dixon, Thompson, Justin Britt, DJ Fluker. I mean, they released all these guys, and yet... And they have enough cap space to sign Clowney. And, you know, Clowney won first 21 million. Then he opted down to 18 to 17 million. But still, it's just that it makes no sense at this point that Seattle has not signed him yet. And I'm kind of surprised that Seattle did not make an aggressive move to sign him right now. I mean, like, as a Seattle fan, it's been frustrating, but I would not be surprised if they end up moving on from him and get Griffin. I believe that's who I'm thinking of. That's from Minnesota. And plus, he's cheaper, too. And like I said about Philly, I mean, Philly, he doesn't like the fan base, but still, no matter how many times you want to doubt Philadelphia, will just find ways to win games and all that. So, like I said, it comes down to Seattle or Philadelphia to me. If Clown wants to come back, sure, cool and all, but he'll have to probably sign on a cheap contract, and so far he does not want to. And then, like I said, Philly, he doesn't like the fan base and all that, but we'll see what happens. I still think it'll just come down to Philly or Seattle. That's my prediction. What do you guys think? Who does Clowney go to? And if it's these teams or other team, leave a comment down below. And hit that like button, share us with your friends, subscribe to me more videos like this one. This is Teach TV Tank Mode. Sign off.